This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so we talked about the parameters, right? What are the parameters? Parameters are the values for different properties of your database and your and also database, and also what is the memory occupied in your by the database on your RAM side, right? And these parameters are being stored in which file?
pg underscore
PostgreSQL.conf file. Okay, PostgreSQL.conf file. So these are the different parameters which generally just these are parameters. Example: the size of your buffer cache, the size of your work memory, how many connections can be made to the database. Okay, so all these are the different parameters for the database and the instance for the Postgres. Okay, so configuration parameters that affect the behavior of the database system. All parameters are case sensitive, so these parameters can be set at the cluster level, at the session level, at the user level, and also at the database level. Hope this point is clear.
yes.
Okay, so if you set at the cluster level, everybody will be able to use that parameter. Just like I set a work memory. I told you about work memory. I told you one is shared pool. Shared pool is at the cluster level, right? So shared pool is at the cluster level. Everybody is accessing the shared pool. So shared pool will change at the cluster level. But what about work memory? Work memory is for each session, right? For each session. By default, assume work memory is 4 MB, but I understand that this particular user needs more memory, so I can give 8 MB to that particular user. I can set it at the user level. Okay, I can set it at the user level. So for that particular user, that work memory would be more whenever he tries to connect, or I can make it at particular session level as well. So session level means the session which is connecting to it, right? One particular session that is connecting, it is at the session level, right? So if any user has made 100 connections, even though I put at session level 1 only at one session, then you put it that session will have more memory. So it can be at session level, can be user level, and can be at the database level. Some parameters can be set at the cluster level. Some parameter would only be at the cluster level, like number of connections to a database, okay, or number of or total size of the work shared memory. And there can many, we'll discuss all these things. So how you can see your parameter? You can see the parameter in PG settings. You can see this is a table where you can see your parameter PG underscore settings, where you can see your parameters, or you can also use with the show command, show and parameter name, show and parameter name. Okay,
So
show parameter name.
pg settings, right?
Yes, PG settings, PG file settings, and show and parameter name. That also you can have a look. Okay. So alter system command is used to change the parameter at the cluster level. It is available from Postgres 9.4 and higher. Anyways, we are doing using Postgres 10. It is using to change server configuration parameter across the entire database cluster. Alter system writes the given parameter settings to the file PostgreSQL.conf file. Okay, so where our parameters are in Postgres SQL.conf. I told you, right? I was giving a chat from the PostgreSQL.conf file. Okay, okay, but
What is that? What is the purpose of this conf file?
just a minute. Okay, I'm sorry. How to go back to the? I took this marker. Now how I can? Mm,
So is there any workload? Is there any workload or percentage of system memory allocates to each user ID or each role level something?
I'm sorry. What are you saying?
What is the workload? Are there any workload concept in Postgres database?
Workload means how in what scenario?
So, I mean, let's say, a couple of, let's say you want to allocate 60% of the memory resources to a specific role where all the business owners are there and allocate 20% of the memory to the ETL service account during the daytime. Do you have those kind of workload mechanism?
Okay, in Postgres, what we can do is if we want to give some memory,
Uh-huh.
more memory, assume to any particular what do you say any particular session, we can increase the work memory to it. Okay, in the first chapter I told you the architecture, right? There is one shared pool that is shared among all the users, but there is one work memory which is for each session there is different work memory. So if some sorting and hashing kind of scenario is there, but resource management is not very great in Postgres. Okay, it is not that great right now on the base version, the communities version, it is not that great. It has some resource manager kind of feasibility. Right now it is not there, okay, for the resource manager kind of thing. But yes, we can have more memory given to it, but more process given to it or more CPU given to it, I don't think so. As per my knowledge, there is nothing like this. Okay, memory we can give more, work memory we can give more.
I see. So are you going to, so you can give more memory at the user level?
Yes, at the user level, at the session level, at the database level, we can give it in level.
What is the command we need to use? How do we check what is the percentage? I think probably you're going to discuss it later.
Yes. So alter system, see, shared memory is not reserved memory for any user.
Yeah,
Everybody will share the same memory, but
yeah.
work memory is something which people use it for which purpose? Sorting purpose, hashing purpose, such purposes this memory is used, right? Sorting purpose it is used for such memory only. I can have a dedicated pool. I have a dedicated pool which is known as the work memory. Okay, all your group by clauses, distinct clauses, or such clauses which require hashing or which require sorting is done in a separate pool. Otherwise, I am fetching the data from shared memory only. If I somebody says select star from EMP, this EMP is coming from buffer cache only. If buffer cache has issues, have a lot of load, then a complete database would be slow. Okay,
Oh,
but assume these are select star from EMP where job is equal to this and order by this. If there are some other calculations, yes, these calculation and this other other processing is done in the work memory in the private area. Okay,
mhm.
so this private area can be bigger. Private area can be bigger, but I cannot have more CPUs for one session. I can give a private area bigger to some one session so that his sorting, his where clauses or such conditional clauses can be bit faster.
Oh, you mean work memory is different, private area is different, right?
Same. Private areas work memory is same, but shared buffer is different. Shared buffer will hold the data. Okay,
They will,
and
yeah, hold the
yes,
base data, but which is not
base data
shareable. Oh,
that is shared. That I cannot give somebody more and somebody less. That is shared by everybody. If somebody is using it, I need to be sit on the queue and wait for it.
yeah.
Okay. It's just like you're getting something raw material from some what we say go down or some big marketplace. You have to stand in a queue. You got the raw material. You got now the raw material. Now you do all kind of processing and other things. Now for that processing, I can give you more area or less area. The by default is 4 MB, but I can increase and give you more area so that you do your processing faster.
The the default is the 4 MB, right?
Yes, default
Per
is 4
user,
MB per
per user.
per session,
Yeah, per session.
per session, not per user. The number
MB.
of sessions, each session will have its own work memory.
Mm-hmm. I see.
Okay, got the point.
Yeah.
So if you change the parameter, this parameter will not change in the PostgreSQL.conf. Okay, because this pa- this para this file is maybe is not able to writable kind of file. This doesn't updates over there. Okay, doesn't updates. I don't know why it is doesn't happen, but doesn't updates over there. Or maybe they want to keep it for backward compatibility. What was the previous value? So it doesn't update over here. Just assume
Mhm.
there is one connection. Okay, this is difficult to write here. I put open the notepad only. Okay, just assume we have wall maybe buffer cache parameter, no, or maybe work memory parameter. Assume I have a work memory parameter. I put it in 4 MB. Now I change it. I do an alter system and change this work memory for everybody. Maybe 8 MB now. Okay. So in the Postgres SQL.conf, it will always remain 4 MB only. Okay, it will remain 4 MB only. And what was the base? Which is the default setting? Now this value of 8 MB will go into Postgres SQL auto.conf.
Oh, I see.
Okay, so when your database cluster is starting, it will first read this PostgreSQL.conf, and then it will read this PostgreSQL auto.conf. Okay, and it
So
will override
you are making 8 MB for all the sessions, right?
all the sessions, So, there is a concept of PostgreSQL.conf and PostgreSQL Okay, so in this way you can do an alter system with other parameters like wall level. Wall level means the redo log files. Okay, so you can make changes the wall level. You can make changes for other things, right? So you can do. There is a command for reset as well. Reset all means go and everybody set it to the previous or to the default settings. So
Mm.
PostgreSQL.conf will contain the default settings. If I want to change anything, that entry will make an entry in the auto.conf file. Okay, you can see this file, PostgreSQL auto.conf, right? This is the file, PostgreSQL.auto.conf.
Mhm.
Now, if you want to reset and make it to the default settings or want to go back to the previous value, you can do an alter system reset val level, or you can say alter system reset all. Okay. Now changes at the session level and changes at the user level. So you can make the changes at the session level with the command of set. Just like default table space, I think I told you about the concept of default table space as well. So each user can have its own table space, right? Each user can have its own table space, and there is a default table space at the data at the cluster level as well. Or I can set it at the database level, or I can set it at the user level. So if I set it at the user level, it is alter user, and if I set it at the session level, I just say set. Okay, no alter user, no alter database, no alter system. So four things: alter system at the cluster level, alter database at the database level, at and I think it's simple to remember. So if I say alter system at the cluster level, then is alter database at the database level, then alter user at a user level. Okay, or you can say alters it's then alter not alter, only set. Okay, here we alter system set. Okay, only set. This is for session level, only set default table space or any. Okay, default table space is equal to team, or I can set it just like work memory. All I'm so setting work memory. Okay, but if you log in and log out, the values change. If you log in and log out, it is gone. Okay, because session is changed. Similarly, I can set at the database user level as well.
Mhm.
Okay,
Can you go? Can you go back? Can you go back? Set default table space. You are setting the table space at the session level, user level, database level, right?
Hmm.
Right. So
This is session. Yeah, this is session level. This is user level.
you mean
I
you
think this
mean
is.
you mean if you set, because the table space is holding the base data, right? Physical data, right? Of the
Yes, yes.
specific database. But why are you setting at the session level?
So if any new table is created in that particular, uh, if new table is in that particular session, that by default will go to T1.
So make sure if the table is make sure if the table is physically stored in a specific table set, then you can able to set that, right?
No, no. Can you repeat your question?
Basically the default table space is aligned at the database level or table level, right?
Mhm.
So what is the exact purpose for keeping the default table space at the session level? Is that for faster data retrieval from the table space for specific table?
No, 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 no. It is doesn't depend on the retrieval. It's not for retrieval. If you see select star from EMP, whichever table space it is, it will find it out. It will find it out, right?
Uh,
It
uh,
doesn't make a difference to it. It will go to the dictionary, the catalog, and will find that where the table space is, where the table is. Okay,
mm.
it will find it out. The system will find it out. It will not depend on your you set it or not. This set is only for creation of new tables. If you create a new table in that particular session, it will go ahead and create the table into particular table space.
Oh, so if you want to save a specific table data into a specific save set, then you can set it at the session level.
Yes.
Mhm. Generally, in real time, what will be the scenario? Are you using the set class, or by default the table space is defined at a specific database level or a specific schema level?
Generally at the database level. Generally at the database level, we should not use PG default, because PG default is maybe in some, like like it depends on your system host actually, how much you have in your particular mount point, how much space is there in a particular mount point. Depends on your system actually.
So one more question. So let's say you have a different schemas of a specific database, and I want to categorize a different schemas data into different table space at the schema level. Or do you think it works?
Voice is low actually. Can
So
you
no, no,
can
no,
you
no,
type
no,
your
no.
question?
Can you define a table space at the schema level?
Yes, schema level.
Okay.
Schema level is it is not there.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
but I'm doing it at the user level. I'm doing it at the user level, and generally one user maps to one schema. Okay, it can it like if even generally user maps to one schema, right? Generally, like the standard practice. Okay, but it's not mandatory. But we have at user level. We don't have at schema level, but we have it at a user level.
Okay, yeah, got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can change the parameters at the database level as well. Okay, at the alter database, rename to new name. You can rename the database. You can change the honor of the database. You can set table space of the database. I think we already tried this yesterday, setting the
Yes.
table space of a database, and then you have seen that it is all tables are going to a new table space. We try to create a table space, and we try to change the honor of the table database as well. Okay, if you reset it, that means it will all automatically reset to the all the settings at the cluster level. Okay, whatever the class settings at the cluster, automatically reset it at that particular cluster level.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so okay. Okay, so these are the different parameters. Okay, these are the different parameters which are there for connections. Okay, this is a list of the parameter. I think a lot of parameters are there anyways. Okay, we can discuss this one by one. Okay, so these are the different parameters like listen address. Okay, specify the address on which server is to listen for connections. Okay, use star for all. So this is one more uh, in addition to pghba.conf. We'll come back to that file as well. Okay, pghba.conf. Okay, after finishing these parameters. Okay, so one more restriction, you can put it on the parameter file also. You can put some few IP addresses which you want to listen. Okay, by default it is star. Okay, star means it will accept the connection from every node, from everybody. Okay, it will accept the connection. Okay, okay, from everybody. Second level of restriction is definitely pghba.conf. Okay, port number which it is running, port 5432, it is running on the 5432. Maximum connection it will accept. So maximum people who can connect at one time is 100. That's it. Generally we have
How
to
do you
increase it.
how do you restrict this? How do you restrict? So make sure.
If it is connection becomes more than 100, it will not allow to connect. Postgres will not allow to connect.
So I don't want to let allow 100 connections at the same time. So how do you set this limitation?
You can set the limitation with alter system. It is limitation 100 anyways, it is there. Okay, you can set with alter system. Well, let us do the practical as well. I think that is more more clear.
So you can set the limitation at the user level and the role level, right?
At the role level, user level, I am not sure. This is at the cluster level we can set. User level, database level, we can try. I'm not sure. This is the cluster level parameter. I don't remember, because some parameter would be which can be set only at the cluster level. Some parameter would which can be set at any level. Okay. Some parameter would be which can be set at database level and only at the cluster level, not at the user level or the session level.
Okay.
Okay.
Super user has a 3 reserved
Yes.
connection.
So super user has 3 reserved. So 3 connection would always be there. Okay. It will never be full for super user, just like a Postgres user. Okay. So 3 connection would always be there for super users. Okay. In addition to this, 100 connections. Okay. 100 connection for normal users. So just because if everybody is connected, right, all 100 are full. So super user is not able to connect. Right. And he has to do some admin kind of work. So for super user, always 3 connection would always be available. Okay, so there is a Unix socket directory, the directory used for all such kind of information /tmp. That would be the by default directory where this information would be put, the temporary information would be put. This is for some temporary, this permission for that particular directory. That's not that important. I think for us important is the maximum connections. If somebody is facing an issue like not able to connect due to maximum connection exhausted, okay, then you can go ahead and change this parameter. Okay, you can go ahead and change this parameter to 100, 210, 150, 200, whatever you want. Okay, based on the based on your database server performance. Okay, it's able to sustain to that much or not. Okay, now comes the another very important parameter, shared buffers. By default it is 128 MB. This is also practically very less, 100 connections are also practically very less in production database. I tell you, you can easily go up to 200 and 500, because there would be multiple scenarios when people connect and don't disconnect, even they are not using it. Okay, but they are idle connections. Okay, idle sessions that are being created, and 20% of the database connection are generally idle. People don't disconnect easily. They connect and they fire their query and they don't close the toad or whatever you're using. You don't close it, but a connection is already there. A work memory is already allocated to you. Okay,
Okay.
till the time you don't shut down your system or you don't go off, so connection there. So there is a possibility to having more connection. So your Postgres is capable enough. So generally you increase it from 100. By default it is 100, but generally increase from 100. And the shared buffers also, you by default it is 128 MB, but that is also small size. Looking at today's scenarios when we have so much RAM available, so much memory available, 128 MB is nothing for a shared pool. So let us recommended you can move it to 1 GB, I think, easily, because in anyways your RAM would somewhere around 25 to 30 GB or 32 GB. So at least 500 MB you can start with, and then maybe if you're still facing performance, you can increase it. Okay.
So
So this now
all your physical data stored in a shared buffers, right?
yes, all your data, physical data is stored in your hard disk, but every time when you want to access your table indexes, these all data will come to shared buffer. Okay,
Shared buffer
just
is
like when you
just like a caching.
caching, caching.
Okay.
Okay, and now these memory areas, temporary buffers, work memory, maintenance work memory, all these memory areas are areas which is which is there. This temporary buffer and work memory are for each session. So don't try to increase it. Don't try to increase it. Assume you increase 4 MB to 40 MB. What will happen? There are 100 sessions. Okay, 40 into 100, 4000 MB would be given easily. Okay, even they are using it, not using it. Shared buffer you can increase. Better increase this work memory at session level. If somebody is really using it, then maybe increase it, but don't go ahead and increase this at for the cluster level. Okay, similarly for temporary buffers also, don't increase it at the cluster level. If you want, then you can increase it particular user level, or better use it at session level. Okay, at session level. Okay, maintenance is for only utilized when you fire a command like vacuum command. When vacuum is fine, then maintenance work memory is being utilized. Temporary file movement, amount of disk space that a session can use for temporary files. Okay, default is unlimited. Okay, so you can have multiple temporary files. So let us go to the machine. Actually, I think that would be better experience. Mm,
So
okay,
shared buffer, size of Postgres shared buffer
this
code.
is about the parameters. Okay,
One
and we'll go to this. I think let us complete this practically, then we'll go to this val parameters as well. Okay, val anytime we'll discuss during replication time as well.
This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so you can see this file, PostgreSQL.conf file. Now this is containing all parameters. Okay, all parameters from connection parameters to memory parameters. You can say we talked about connections, right? You can say listen address, this max connections 100. So this is containing all those parameters. Port number 5432, 543 default port number. You want to change the port number, you change the port number over here and restart. So some requires a restart, some doesn't requires a restart. Okay, some requires a reload only. Okay, and reload is different than restart. I just tell you, reload is different than restart. And some, you can see this parameter which says change requires a restart. That means is you cannot change it just like that. You cannot change it at the cluster, at the database level, or maybe at the session level. You have to change it at the cluster level. Now this shared buffer also requires a restart. Okay, now if you say work memory doesn't require a restart. Okay, work memory is a 4 MB. Okay, work memory is a 4 MB, that doesn't require a restart. Okay, so uh, now let us log into the database. So I say PL SQL minus P5432. Okay, I say show shared buffers. Okay, you can see in this way, it is one way you can see show parameter name, or you can see in PG underscore settings. Okay, so you can say select name comma setting. So this is one of the dictionary table which have all these values. Select name comma setting from. Okay, so these are all different values you can see over here. You can see. Okay, now let us go back to this shared underscore buffers. Now let us change something at the system level. So I say alter system shared underscore buffers. I think we need to give in bytes. Okay, that's okay. I think I given it 2 times set. So,
Twice. No buffer.
it's
TOB
not. It will not take it in megabytes actually. I need to convert into bytes actually.
into 1024
This would
into
be KBs, and this is
1024 into MB. Yeah, 125 MB. Give the full number 125 829
cannot paste it here. Okay, now this is changed. Okay, now this is changed. But if I say show shared buffers, okay, it is still the same. Okay, because this change requires a restart. Okay, restart. Okay, now I go to this file. You can see this parameter has been added over here because this is the parameter which I have changed from default till now. Okay, rest is not
Postgres
changed.
There are only two parameters: PostgreSQL.config, PostgreSQL auto.config, right?
auto.conf. Okay, only two files we have. Okay, PostgreSQL.conf and PostgreSQL.auto.conf. Okay, so whenever we made any change to the default values, all this parameter will come in the PostgreSQL.auto.conf. Okay, in PostgreSQL auto.conf, and one is PostgreSQL.conf, one is PostgreSQL auto.conf. Now this value new has been come over here. Okay, so now what I will do, I will say pgctl stop -d. Now this is the command to stop it. You say pgctl stop, and then you give the data directory. Now this is our data directory. Okay, and then I will say start.
What it does? What it does?
Hmm?
What it does? That pgctl stop -d, is that refreshing that?
Yes, this is restarting the cluster. This is restarting the complete cluster.
But you could say that
I,
pgctl stop, right? pgctl stop and start, right? Why did
I am first
that
stopping. I
path?
am first stopping the cluster. I am first stopping the cluster. Then I am first stop the cluster. pgctl stop -d. So -d I am stopping the cluster. Then I am starting the cluster once more.
But what is that path? The where lib
This is the
pgctl?
data directory path.
No,
The
this
data
is
directory path where your Postgres cluster is being created,
okay.
where
Yeah.
all these configuration files are. So by default, first time it creates over here, and next time we have created that U01 DBCL1, right?
Okay.
Right. I think it is not taking less than 120 memory. It's giving some error to start. The error means that Postgres request for shared memory segment exceed available memory swaps or uh, shared memory usage parameter. Okay, I think it is not taking it more memory. Let us change it. No problem. What was the value over here? Good. Oh man. Hmm, Let's log it on. Antivar lib, and it was PGSQL 10 and data. Okay. So okay, let me change it in PostgreSQL.auto.conf. I think it is taking MB, so let us give MB only. 140 MB. Now let us try to start it. Okay, you understand the point, right? How to start it?
Yes.
Okay, now it is started. I think it is not taking less than 128. Okay, now you go to this pgp SQL -p5432, and now if we see this shared buffers, now it is showing 140 MB, right?
So if
What
there
we have
are
given.
performance related issues, for example, a SQL did not run, a stored procedure did not run, what is supposed to do?
Yes, SQL didn't run, then we have to seriously analyze. If it's a memory issue, then we have to increase the memory. If there's only SQL, we have to tune the SQL separately, creating the index kind of things. Okay, we'll come to the tuning chapter, but
On
uh,
Saturday
but
and on Saturday and Sunday, can you please cover up these two topics?
sure. We'll finish this instance today, and that database only one topic is pending, that is pghba.conf. Okay, after this we'll go to tuning only. Backup recovery maybe we'll do later.
Yeah,
Saturday Sunday we'll do tuning.
yeah.
Okay, so this is one way to change your this one. Okay, now for other parameters, just like work memory. Okay, so show work memory. Work. Okay, like this is so I can say set work mem is equal to 6 MB. Uh, mm,
6 MB. It means you are setting 6 MB at this session level, right?
Session level, yes. Yeah, single code, so taking with a single code. Okay, so I say set work memory is equal to 6 MB. So this is at the session level. This is at the session
So
level. So
this is
if I
really
see,
helpful to troubleshoot the queries, right? How
right,
much?
at that time you can just troubleshoot. If somebody is saying is slow, then you can, at particular session, you can increase the memory. At
Mhm.
particular session, shared memory is for everybody, right? It is even if you increase it, maybe at the database level there would be an impact, but at the session level you can make an impact with increasing the work memory.
Work memory. Okay, this is the
Yes.
only one thing we can increase the work memory and see. Okay, what is the maximum?
Yes. Maximum limit I not defined actually. I'm not sure. It would be more only. I don't think there would be any restriction
I see.
as such. Okay. So similarly, we have parameter like max connections. Okay. So I can say all, maybe alter database. You can do a show table space. Show it is maybe
Table
default tables.
table underscore
Okay.
space.
Let us check. No problem. Okay. So this is one. This one. Now work memory have increased it at the session level. Now let me exit. Okay, it is back to 4 MB for this new session, right? Because if I exit, I connect one more, that session is exit, so that is gone. But
So
shared memory is anyways 140.
whatever the adjustment you made, it is local to the session, and once you disconnect it, and
Right, right,
it will come
right.
to the default values will override that. Okay.
Yes. Okay, so similarly, there are some database level, just like database level, what all we have configuration parameters. Table space is one thing, so you can set work memory at database level as well. Okay,
Mhm.
so you can
Mhm.
say particular database has some. So what was we can check, just like this alter database. So I can say alter database db1 set
So
work.
you can set the work memory local to database level, user level, session level.
Yes. Okay, so you can set it at the database level as well. So once you connect to db1, you will always get 5 MB of memory for that particular session. Okay,
Alter database level, right?
yes, alter database db1 set work memory is equal to 5 MB.
Yeah,
This is
one
this is
alter database db1
database name.
set work mem equal to within the quotes 5 MB. Okay.
Right, so every time I connect to this database, okay, maybe with a Postgres user, then I will get a work memory of 5 MB, correct?
What is the dash? What is the slash c db1 Postgres you are connecting?
Slash C is for connection. DB1 is the name of the database, and Postgres is the name of the user. So whenever you connect to any database, you say slash C connection if you're already connected to any uh, Postgres. If you're not connected to Postgres, then you connect in the same way. PSQL -4 5432, name of the database, the name of the user, right? So this is the way you connect, right? I don't specify anything. That means I am connecting to Postgres database and Postgres user.
Oh, yeah, I mean
That is by default. That is
PC.
by default. But internally it is taking Postgres user, Postgres. But every time you have to specify database and username. Database and username you have to specify. Okay,
uh,
that is very
database.
easy to identify as well. When you connect it, it is showing you prompt of the database name as well, right? So now every time you connect to the database, your work memory has been set to this value, that is 5 MB. Okay, so now you can define at the user level as well. But what if just like I define it at Postgres level?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I say alter
Specify,
user.
specify instead of database, alter user Postgres username set work mem, right? Within the quotes.
Okay, 6 MB. Now, now which one it will take? If I say p SQL minus p, I'm connecting to this. So what do you think it will take? Because
6 MB.
now database is what do I say?
MB.
Uh,
Oh, sure. What?
database has a property of 5 MB. User has a property of 6 MB. Okay, but it is taking user level. Okay, so because it will go to this smallest level, right? We talked about this, right? So first is this cluster level. Now cluster level is overridden by database level. Database level is overridden by the user level, and user level is overridden by session level. Okay, you override it, right? Override it. So the database property is 5 MB, but the user property is 6 MB, so it will take user level. But if I am connecting with some other user, okay, just like I said DB1, Arnav cannot connect. Okay, Arnav no, cannot connect. Maybe let us create a new user and make it as owner. But you got my point, right?
Yeah.
Yes, okay. So alter database DB1 owner post. Alter database DB1 set ownership. I think so. Set owner is equal to post. Oh shit. Git command is incorrect. Correct. What was the command here for owner? Yesterday we tried, right? Mm,
Owner name.
owner two. Okay, owner two new owner. Okay, owner two post. Mm, hmm? Why come R is getting pressed here by mistake every time? Okay, finally. Okay, so I've changed the owner. Now I say slash C db1 post. Okay, it is still not connecting. Okay, now I say work mem. It is giving, it is connected with Postgres user. I think this I need to make an page. Okay, I think you hope you got the point, right? I think we need to make the entry over there in pghp.conf for any other user actually whenever we are connecting. It is not connecting actually. We need to make the entry over there
Yeah.
for the new users. Good, you got the point, right? So all your settings at the database level will be overridden by the user level and then by the session level. Okay, so you can change things at the database level, at the user level, or at the cluster level.
Okay.
Okay, and this is what we did till today. And we have some other value, some other parameters for write ahead log as well, that is the redo log files or write ahead log, which are just the minimum. These are generally the parameters for the cluster level, that what would be the size of the val files. Okay, max default is 80 MB. Okay, before it start recycling, total size is 1 GB. I told you each file size is 16 MB, and once it reach 1 GB, they'll start overwriting this file. Okay, so this is the all different values, these are different parameters you can set. Now all these different parameters can only be set at the cluster level, because this thing about the val files, right? So val file doesn't belong to particular database or particular user or particular session. It is for everybody. Okay, so this is the size of val buffers. So default is -1. -1 means it automatically set the size, Postgres. Otherwise you can set some size as well. Okay, you can set some size. Minimum val size before it start overwriting. So 116 MB becomes 80 MB. That means once five files are written, for the sixth file, it can start overwriting as well. Okay, or recycling as well. Okay. Okay. Checkpoint is the time period when database buffer cache or shared buffers write to the files, tables or indexes, whatever the files are. So checkpoint by default is 5 minutes. So that means every 5 minutes, all your cache data is written to your files.
Okay.
Okay, so these are different parameters. Okay, these are different parameters supporting this, same like for the log also there are different parameters. You can just go through these parameters. I'll just share you these slides. You can just go through these parameters. Okay, just like how many, what messages can become warning, what messages can become error, lock weight should be an message or not there in this, what is the name of the file, what is the file name, what is the directory logged. So all these are different parameter which is defining properties of your database.
Mhm.
Okay, and one is the search path, which is very important, which we discussed yesterday, right? Search path is where it is searching whenever we are doing a search. So by default it is $user and public, and then we have default table space, temporary table space, and statement timeout. Default table space is the default table space where it would, a table would be created. Okay, that is a default table space. This can be at the database level or at the user level also, or can at the cluster level. Then there is a temporary table space as well, where you want to put your temporary object. Whenever you're creating a temporary table, you want to put it, otherwise everything will go to the default table space only. Okay, so let us
Mhm.
see. You're in a hurry or it's fine?
No, 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 it's fine.
Show default. This is not there actually. Okay, so right now it is not set, so by default it becomes pg underscore default if it is not set. Okay,
Mhm.
if you want you can set it, just like I said, db1 set default table space. I think which one we created t1, right? Okay, okay, so
L means list, right?
I'm sorry,
L means.
L means list of databases.
Mhm.
Okay, T1 is there, I think, but I'm taking maybe. Okay, let me do this. Okay, and this is case sensitive. Okay, so in this way, I can put an alter database command and put DB1 as default table space as T1. Okay, I can put it for DB2 also, or maybe Postgres database as well. Okay, so if I now say show default table space, I think this okay, it's on T1 now. Okay,
Yeah.
so I can change it at the database level. This parameter. Okay, so search path is something where by default all your I think we already discussed this. Search path is something where, so by default your user, by default, just like you're logged in as Postgres user, so by default it will go to Postgres, it will search for Postgres. If Postgres is not there, it will search for public schema. Okay, it will search for public schema, just like uh, list of schemas we can see with /n. Okay, so now we don't have only one schema. Okay, let me see, create schema n1. Okay, I say create table n1 dot maybe xyz a integer, select star from xyz. Okay, what does it showing? Relation doesn't exist. You see, I just created a table in n1 schema. I say n1 dot xyz. Now it is showing
Specify,
relation.
yeah.
I'm sorry.
Specify the schema name followed by the XYZ.
Right. So now this is doesn't exist because what it is searching, it
Got
is
it.
searching in the Postgres user and it is searching in the public user. Okay. Now, now I create one more. I
Let,
say
let us say you're logged in with Arnav, and when you do this show search path, what is the default user? Default user is your user ID, Postgres user ID.
yes. By default is user only. So that same Arnav, it will search for Arnav only. Okay. By default schema would be Arnav. It will assume it is Arnav. For search path, dollar user means Arnav. Same, but I'm if you logged in as Arnav. If I'm logged in as Postgres, by default it is Postgres. But Postgres schema is not there. Now we
Oh.
have only public schema.
Mhm.
Okay, we have only public schema. Okay, dn is to see the okay, dn is to see the list of schemas. So now list of schemas, now we have n1 and public, we don't have a Postgres schema, so it will search only in the public schema. There is no Postgres schema, so it search in the public schema. So now emp is in the public schema. Okay, so now if you see emp is in the public schema. So now if I create one more emp, I will say in n1 dot emp. Okay, I say a dot integer. Now
Mhm.
if create table syntax error, uh, okay, why it was syntax error earlier, same syntax I've put. Okay, so create table n1 dot emp, but if I say select star from emp, it will show me the emp which is there in the public schema because my search path says public. Now if I say set set search path is equal to n1. So it'll show me the EMP which I created in the n1 schema. Okay. Otherwise, anyways, I have to do in this way only. Okay. Maybe public.emp maybe. Okay. Either I put a suffix. Either I put a suffix. I don't want to put a suffix. Then a prefix. Then I have to change the search path, or I can just put a suffix over here. Then I can search.
Can you open up a notepad? 1 minute. Can you open up a notepad? You said how to see the list of tables, forward slash. Can you write
D
those comments? Forward slash D, list of
tables.
tables. And what about a list of and what about forward slash D T?
DN is for list of schemas. Okay, DN is for schemas. Okay, and L is for list of databases. I don't know why they have given such names. They should have given slash R for relations, slash
And
SH
what
S for
about DB
schemas.
slash DB? DB?
DB slash DB, I think that is for table spaces. It is take a long time to remember it actually for me also.
Table spaces, table underscore spaces where physical data is exist. Okay.
Yes.
D and list of
Yeah.
schemas slash D list of
This is the
tables.
and then so if you're very much confused, okay, so you can say just slash D PG underscore tables. Okay, you will get the table name. So you can say select schema name
Slash D means list of databases, right?
slash L.
What about slash D? List of tables?
D is for list of tables, right? Not it is called as relations in Postgres, but it is tables, yes. So you can do one thing. You can that is better practice is you can use this command. Okay,
Tables.
select star from pg underscore tables. Similarly, you have pg underscore table spaces as well. I think no pg underscore table space. Yep, a table space is there. So
What
you
is
can
that?
see
What
select.
is that?
Hmm?
Oh, it will display. It will display the table metadata of that PG table space, right?
Yes. So similarly, for every metadata you have PG underscore databases, PG underscore table space. Just like I put it this command, right? Select star from PG tables where schema name is equal to n1. It is showing me, yeah, this is a dictionary table PG. Similarly, I can see from PG underscore table space as well. So I will say select star from PG underscore table space.
Okay.
Okay, I can see this table spaces, right? There's a T1 table space, PG global, PG default. I have 3 table spaces. I can see it from here. Okay.
Okay. Chalo bhaiya. Let's
Okay.
meet tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll talk more about performance. Tomorrow.